All right, guys, welcome to our first National Black Business Month Mixer. Earlier this year, I got a call. Actually, they're not here today, but I'm not going to mention their name because they're not here. They reached out to me and they said, what are you doing for Small Business Month, which is really May? I said, well, nothing, but what about Black Business Month? What's going on? And so I decided to take it on myself, contact some key individuals, and they will be on the panel from Dean Bennett in the audience. Yes, you could clap, feel free. Phil Andrews from LIAC, Long Island African American Chambers of Commerce. Netstruck Media, Sharon, who said, I'll bring my husband to video it. And I said, thank you so much. And Rhonda, who stepped in when the venue, because if you remember, we were supposed to be somewhere else last week, and 1 week before they made an announcement, they're on the renovations, and a call was made. I think Rose called Rhonda, and here we are, right? So thank you. At this time, I have some individuals to introduce, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pass the mic at this time. Teresa, I did not get the last name. And I'm still not going to get it, but here you go.
Hi, how are you? My name is Teresa Adelot. I'm the interim AVP, Chief Diversity Officer here at Nassau Community College, and I'm here to thank you. And I'm here to introduce my fellow cabinet member. You have to forgive me for a minute because I have to read, and I can see, but I can't read without these glasses. I'm going to introduce, like I said, my cabinet member. He and I have shared many spaces together. I'm going to be brief so that we can definitely get on with the information that's going to be shared today. This is Dr. Jerry A. Kornbluth. He's Vice President of Community and Governmental Relations, and I wanted to share this one key fact about him. He wants it to be known that he definitely values and appreciates being a spokesperson. So please welcome the spokesperson.
Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, on behalf of Maria Gonzatti, the college president, and myself, we really appreciate that you wanted to come here and have the event. I mean, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. And my good friend Phil Andrews there, we do a lot of things together, and we're involved both with the Sands Integrated Resort that's coming in. Notice I didn't say casino. So that's going to be a big boom for the area, and this is a great opportunity for the folks that have never been here before to get a sense of what Nassau Community College is all about. We're all about community, and so anytime someone comes and says, we want to run an event here, we give you that opportunity to do that. And we've ran so many events that unfortunately, sometimes we have to turn folks around because we don't have the time or the energy or the space to do it. But we're really happy to be able to provide this opportunity for this organization. And today, for the first time, I met Dr. Neva Alexander, and we welcome her as well to Nassau Community College and everybody else. So hopefully, this is just the beginning of a long-term relationship. So thank you for being here and have a great time. Oh, where is she? Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, now, of course, we would not be here as well without the vendors' participation, and I do this all the time.
Hi everyone, my name is Toni Coleman Brown. I'm here with my business partner Julia Shaw, and we're the Collaborative Experience, and basically we help you bring your entrepreneurial and your publishing dreams to life. And basically today we're looking for people that are interested in participating in a book collaboration, in a book about entrepreneurship. So we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much.
I'm going to skip you because you have time at the end. No, you want me to introduce him, or you have time at the end? You want? Okay. Yes. Uh-oh.
Hello, I'm Kimberly, or AKA Kimmy. I sell leather handbags. My company's name is Kimberly and Jackson Inc. And I did start a new company clothing line this year, April 11th of this year, K by Kimberly Inc. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Bryan. I'm the owner of Bryan Service Companies. We're a consulting business that helps small businesses grow their revenue by focusing on customer satisfaction. I'm actually here selling my book today, which basically outlines the steps that small business owners can take to, I say, guarantee customer satisfaction in your business. So stop by. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Rhoda with La Versus, a CDFI. We help Long Island small businesses. I cover from Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. We do complimentary business development, free workshops, credit counseling is free, and we have access to capital. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Paige LeGrand. I'm the owner of LeGrand Lewis Luxury. I sell handmade jewelry and chebe oil, which comes from Africa. It promotes hair growth. I started this business about 8 months ago. I am a young entrepreneur, I'm 17. And it's been a wonderful journey. I appreciate everybody for their support. And I'm learning new things every day as I go to more events and more engagements. And I appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you.
You heard she's a new business, right? A new business. Her mom just missed, but I know you support her, right?
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Burney and I'm the owner of Danny B Beauty. I am a makeup artist. I've been a makeup artist for 11 years. I also have a cosmetic line where I carry lashes, lip gloss, liquid lipsticks, lip liners, and I'm just happy to be here networking with everyone. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mobasiniola Ashombala Randall. I'm the owner of Touch of a Queen. We are a fashion company designed by myself. Everything is made in Nigeria, so it's African fashion inspired in a contemporary way. We also teach head wrapping workshops, do speaking engagements, and invite you to come on over and check out our stuff. Thank you.
Hi. Evening, everyone. My name is Beverly Holder. I'm the owner of B Holder Photo Incorporated. I do progress photography for construction sites, for general contractors. I also do headshots, events, portraits, portfolios. If you stop by, I will take your picture and I'll print it for you today. All right?
Nice meeting you. I gotta run.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kylan Blackman. I'm representing Island Federal Credit Union. I'm assistant branch manager at our Belmore branch. We currently offer free savings and checking accounts for everyone that lives, works, worships, or go to school on the island. We have competitive credit card and loan rates, as well as free scholarships every summer. Oh, every spring, sorry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Sinclair. I am known as the Lit MC. I'm a two-time best-selling author. I'm a thought leader on networking. Networking has to be strategic, so give yourself, oh, hey, Queen. I love it. I love that the community is here. Give yourself a round of applause for showing up. That's important. And yeah, let's connect. I would love to help you guys leverage your why and your story so you can make some coins. So come and see me.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Patrick Buddington, and I help small businesses find their G-spots. No, growth spot. I'm not sure why you're laughing, sir. But essentially what I do, I work with small businesses in terms of marketing. I have an MBA in marketing from Hofstra University. Woohoo! Today I'm here representing a brand new station Well, the station not new. It's a brand new format on 95.9 FM out of Freeport. It's called Urban Mix. And essentially, the block that I've created is designed to target the African American Caribbean community and business owners so that you can get your product and your services on the airwaves. So please see me after this wonderful networking session because I'm giving away free advertising packages.
All right, awesome. Now, I believe I have everyone. Of course, some vendors were not able to be here, but give a round of applause to who showed up today, and including yourselves. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask the panel, we're ready to move into the panel, to come on up. We have Dean Bennett. You could clap. When you get on up, just put the name tag up in front of you. Thank you. Next, we have Sharon Devonish. Lead. Guys are going to introduce themselves when they're here, okay? So I think individuals do a better job introducing themselves than I do, right? Because trust their resume, their background is very extensive. Next, we have Phil Andrews. And Daphne was not able, Daphne Gordon had a death in the family. She was not able to be here. So we have Rhonda, who has been assistant. Come on down, Rhonda. All right. So in case you don't know me, I'm Dr. Neva Alexander. The name of my company is Neve Alliance, right? I classify it as a professional development company. I do consulting. I do event management more on the professional side, like conferences, trade shows, and also training. At this time, we will start with the introduction. You have a mic. You maybe want to take the mic down, because it's only one just to pass it. And just start by introducing yourself. Give a little background to the crowd.
Son? No. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Neva. And this is just everybody, again, give yourselves a round of applause. We have to support each other, right? So I would be remiss if I didn't do this, because my mother is up there saying, boy, remember your manners. So ladies first.
Thank you, Dean. Your mother raised you right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Lead. I am a publicity strategist. I've been in the public relations world for over 20 years. I worked for the City of New York in the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office as the Executive Director for Community Relations. And then I went on to start my own PR firm in 2015, where I am able to help small businesses and entrepreneurs build out their brand exposure, identify themselves as experts, and build out their credibility, and at the same time, make profits. So what I do is really a whole host of things in terms of public relations, which a lot of people have the myth that PR is all media, and it's not. Anything that builds out your brand exposure, I help you with, whether it's speaking, whether it's going into rooms and identifying who your target audience is, and really just pouring into you and being your personal cheerleader. So I look forward for you to please come to my table. I also have my business partner with me who's doing the video, my husband who is Netstruck Media, and we do photography and video productions. Thank you.
Well, Dean, I have to follow what you said. I guess I'm going to pass the mic down.
Thank you for that, Phil. My name is Rhonda Mako. I'm the Director of Special Programs here at Nassau Community College in the Office of Equity, Inclusion, and Affirmative Action. I'm also an attorney. I've been practicing law for over 20 years, and part of my practice has been helping small businesses become sustainable and growing and becoming everything they want to be. I've also started my own firm in 2009, and I became an MWBE as well. So I have a lot of experience that has been helping small businesses, and that has come in handy with Nassau Community College's newly established, as of the spring, the MWBE Center for Excellence in Entrepreneurship. So some of you hopefully have received some information about the programs that are being offered by that center, which was designed specifically to help small businesses. So if you have not heard about it, you will in the future. We have some programs coming up for the fall, and we would love for you to be a part of this dynamic center that will be a one-stop shop for small businesses and in particular MWBEs. Thank you.
My name is Phil Andrews. My claim to fame is in my early 20s. I was on the board of directors of the 100 Black Men around Tuskegee Airmen and Brigadier Generals. So what happened was some of my mentors, they was doing 30 million right here in Hicksville. Chandler Bancroft Leaf, a Black Enterprise Top 100. And one of the things he said is to get engaged and stay engaged in your community. In 2013, I ascended to presidency of 100 Black Men of Long Island, and come years later, I've now founded the first new chapter of 100 Black Men of America in downstate New York that covers eastern New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, around the Bronx waters. And Chamber of Commerce president, and you know, I was like Barack Obama, I got term limited. And then somebody said, hey, you want to be president of a chamber? And since that time, I was champion for all of downstate New York for the federal government in 14 counties downstate. So I'm your small business champion for downstate.
Okay, thanks, Mom. So it's so good to be here and to see everybody's face. And my name is Dean Bennett. I'm the president and CEO of J.K. Bennett and Associates. I'm also the co-director of Ascend Long Island, which is part of Ascend Cities, which is a program, grant-sponsored program by J.P. Morgan. And it's all around the country of 13 cities, whether it's in Atlanta, Chicago, L.A., New York City, Newark. But the common thread through all these programs, it's affiliated with a school of business. So at Ascend Long Island, our affiliation is with the Zarb School of Business at Hofstra University. And it's basically a business incubator program. I've been a mentor for the past 3 years, and I've been the co-director for the last 2. It's a very exciting program. I'm a native Long Islander, born in Huntington, live in Baldwin, New York right now, with a wife and 3 kids. I'm taking my daughter to Seton Hall on Friday. She's going back to school, so I'm really happy for that. And just proud to see the young lady that's in business for herself. And we're going to give you a treat of information here. All of my colleagues, I'm just proud to be on the same panel with them. And finally, let's please give a round for Dr. Neva, because she's really had steadfast courage and fortitude to make this happen. And she's also the co-director at Ascend with me. So we're running the program, currently recruiting for this year, and it's going to be a very, very good success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. All right, so the first, I have some tough questions for you guys. The first, I'm going to give it to, let's say, Phil. Let's kick it off. We're not playing boy-girl right now. Okay? What are some trends and opportunities on Long Island that Black businesses can leverage for growth?
Well, one of the things that is very unique with Long Island, we just wrote an article with the Chamber of Commerce. You got one of the organizations that's one of the most active organizations that understand small business owner. We know almost every agency in the state of New York, ESD, the entrepreneurial centers. We got three core hosts for the New York Fed Bank is a member of our Chamber of Commerce. And we got businesses that's being mentored by the federal government. And all of this came about during the pandemic. The Fed Bank chairman, they called me and they had some questions about the economy. So if you got a president that have all these connections, right? But we got to show up. We got to become a part of the Chamber of Commerce. During the pandemic, we did so much. We had restaurants that had 150 meals a week. We had Grubhub grants where they were able to deliver their products free. So one of the things is sometimes you got to get out your business and get this training like Dean talked about and get this network, because the longer you be in the room, you hear more things. Like recently we had JFK, give you an example. JFK has the certification, but if you don't know you already MWBE and you don't check that little box, you're gonna have to do the whole thing like you never was an MWBE. So what I'm saying is, get around people, you probably heard it before, don't be the smartest person in the room, right? Get around some people that have leverage that can call agencies to get, and we do it all the time. You call an agency, they ain't responding, we call them, and they getting you certified. But that's why you have to be in this networking and being in the room, because you have to take time for personal development, get outside your business. I know everybody's busy, but hey, you gotta be like the President of the United States. What do I need to do the next 90 days? How do I put this business together? What am I lacking? You know, so take time to invest in yourself, because your business, I've been saying this for 20 years, cannot grow beyond you.
Yes, Sharon, what are some trends and opportunities on Long Island that Black businesses can leverage for growth?
Well, first I have to say, and Jessica would attest to this as well, networking. We don't network enough. I'll be honest with you. I network out here in Long Island, and there is a networking event going on the south side, way out east, more than you think of, and they don't look like us. So we need to put things just as what Dr. Neva is doing, what Phil is doing, what all of us are doing. We need to identify where we can network and stick with it. Follow-up is important. So when we think about this, when we're here today, when we say to ourselves, okay, I want to connect with you, I want to connect with you, follow up, because that is an opportunity. Even if there's not business that's going to take place, it will come later, or there may be a referral. So my key thing with us, opportunity-wise, is we have to network more. We have to either do it via Zoom, go to the restaurant, sit down, and we have to build. We're not building enough. So once we get that mindset together and say we want to support each other, the opportunities will start flowing.
Rhonda, I have another question for you, Rhonda. How can financial institutions and lenders better support the unique needs of Black entrepreneurs on Long Island? We actually have a bank here, right? So I'll repeat that question. How can financial institutions and lenders better support the unique needs for Black entrepreneurs on Long Island?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because I know for a fact that financial institutions have specific products for specific industries. So for example, when I started my firm in 2009, they had a program specifically for lawyers. They also target certain professionals, accountants and other professionals. It's high time for them to focus now on specific needs for other types of businesses. They were very good at targeting businesses like myself. So for example, I'm going to be honest with you. When I started my firm, it was very easy for me to get a loan. It was. And I had a house at the time so that I could use that as collateral. But again, they had a specific program for attorneys, which, is great for me. But what about for someone who's in the food business? What about someone who has a barber shop? What about someone who has a hair salon? and someone who's selling essential oils or things of that nature. So it would behoove us to, when you see those banks at these networking events, you need to speak to them. Ask them, talk to them about programs targeted towards other businesses that are just as successful as those businesses, like attorneys or engineers or other businesses, that they would be willing and that they have provided programs specifically targeting those businesses. The question is, why haven't they done it for other businesses? And that's what you need to post to them. Also, for those of you who have a business, you have money in some bank. These banks need to work for you. This is not a one-way relationship, right? It's not like they're doing you a favor, by you're doing them a favor, just as it's a mutual relationship, and you have to understand that. So it is incumbent upon you to make sure that the money that you put in the bank is also working both ways. You don't go to the bank like begging them. They want your business. That's the approach that needs to be taken. So it's twofold. You need to be engaging with the bank that you decided to do business with and ask yourself, why did you choose that bank? More importantly, is that bank really working for you? Whether it's a credit union, whether it's a bigger bank that is more global, why did you choose that bank? There was a reason why certain banks targeted certain professions, like attorney programs and things of that nature. So the question is the bank that you're using working for you? And you have to be more assertive in making sure that your needs are being met. Again, they're not doing you a favor by you putting your money in their bank, right? It's a two-way street. So it's a mindset also. The way you approach these banks is going to make the difference. So if you approach them as if they're doing you a favor, you're going to go to them a certain way. You need to go to them with a mindset that I'm benefiting you and you need to benefit me. So I think it's a two-way street. You need to confront them about the products that they offer, and you need to also make sure that your needs are being met. So don't be afraid to talk to these institutions and make your needs known, because if you don't say anything, nothing's ever going to be done. This is the climate to do it. If it's not going to happen now, it's not going to happen. Those opportunities are available. These banks are coming out to these events, and you need to speak up. And that's how things are going to get done.
Dean, what are some effective strategies for Black business owners to build strong networks and partnerships in their community?
Very good question. I'm going to start with something I learned a long time ago is do the thing you fear and the fear will disappear. Do the thing you fear and the fear will disappear. And it's sort of like what, I'm sorry, I'm a political junkie too, so I was watching late last night, okay, of our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, and she said what? She said, do something. And she challenged us, right? And I took that personally too, because we can all do better. And we have to make sure that we have that confidence first. That's the first step. Have that I believe, that can do it spirit, because we do. It's nothing new that, we've been asked to have a relationship with banks or being successful person. It's in our blood. It's in our nature to do that. So I would say take this assessment of yourself first, right? Do the pros and cons. I know it's sounds weird, but you got to accentuate your strengths, right? And your weaknesses, work on them. It's okay. One of the things, I'll go back to my mom. She used to tell me, son, it's all right to know what you don't know. Because when you don't know it, you ask someone and then you know it. And that's okay. It's all right. Don't be ashamed to do that. So we have to be bold. That's one of the things that is a strategy. believe it or not. It's not, something from a textbook. It's really self-belief that we already have in us. The other thing is, especially on Long Island, go outside your comfort zone, right? Yes, it's all about business. We want to do business here. But there's certain nuances on Long Island, especially if some of you are here, that there's certain areas and certain geographical areas that we live. We go to church. We shop and all of that stuff. We commerce. Take those things and really, look at the map. If you're in a consumer business, look at where we are. But take an assessment of, where you're at, what business that you're in, what organizations are on Long Island. I'll give you a true story of last December. I joined Libby, which is a Long Island Builders Institute. And what I do is I'm a supply diversity consultant. I have over 20 years in government. I used to work for the state. See my friends over there at the state ESD. And Libby, which is a non-for-profit, right? It's an advocacy group for builders on Long Island. Started in 1940. Now, there weren't many members when I got to the party, okay? But I said, look, if I'm going to do this, I want to join that group because I'm going to make friends and try to make a point there. The reason why I joined also is because Libby has a lot of affordable housing developers in that group. And I know this from being at the state level, that a lot of those developers get state funds from the state. And if you get state funds from the state, follow the money, right, Jason? If you get state money, you fall under Article 15A, which means that there's a 30% minority and women-owned goal on that money. So a lot of those developers they had actually there's a project in Wyandanch that has a $30 million spend for MWBEs to be involved. Now, if they don't meet the goal, they apply for a waiver. If they don't use the money, where does that money go? So there's a deficit there. My whole point about this is that it took a lot for me to join that group, right? But I thought about that, go outside your comfort zone. And when you go outside your comfort zone, you'll always learn something. The fact that you're here, there are a lot of people that are not here, right? Might be something you might do some business, you might get a lead somewhere. So everything that you do is beneficial to you.
Thank you. So, Rhonda, I'm going to ask you the same question. What are some effective strategies for Black business owners to build strong networks and partnerships in their community?
Thank you for that question. I really think that a lot of our businesses need to rethink how they're doing business. Like Dean said, you have to come out of your comfort zone. I think that there needs to be an assessment of the business model that you're currently following. And don't be afraid to pivot. I love that word, pivot. Sometimes we have to pivot and make sure that what we're doing is really going to accomplish the goals that we set out for ourselves. Go back to those goals and objectives that you have. Make sure that they're working for you. Whatever document you created to propel this business to where it is, go back to it. It's a living, breathing document. It was not meant for you to draft it, implement the business, and never go back to it. You have to go back to it. It's the same thing that we need to do in our personal lives, right? We should go back, reflect, analyze, figure out what we're doing now, whether or not it's working, and make changes as necessary. Some of us are not very good with, for example, technology. If you bring up the word AI, some of us are like, I'm not doing that. Before you even know exactly how it can help your business. Some of us are operating with one person. We've been operating with one person for the past 5, 10 years. You are not going to grow the way you want to be if it's only you. Sorry, you're not. We can't be afraid to hire people because we'll say, well, they might take what I've done and then start their own business. If they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that. You have to have the confidence to know that what you're doing is going to work. You can't operate out of fear. You know, I tell people this all the time, like fear, we have emotions for a reason, right? Fear is there for a reason. Anger is there for a reason. All these other emotions that we have, they're there for a reason. 9 times out of 10, we're not using them the correct way. Like anger for me is number 1. 9 times out of 10, when we get angry about something, it's either one way it's gonna go, outward or inward. If it goes outward, you stand the chance of getting in trouble somehow, meaning that anger is gonna be directed towards someone besides yourself. But what we should be doing with anger is it should make us it should move us to the point where we need to change. You have no control over changing somebody else. You could try, but really you only have control over yourself. So the way we move and operate needs to be analyzed so that way we can determine whether or not what we're doing is actually working for us. So rethink the way you're doing business. It's okay. It's okay to change. Change is gonna come whether you like it or not. And either you're gonna move with the change or everything's just gonna pass by you. So don't be afraid to analyze. Look at the things that are out there. When we talked about trends, no one's saying that you have to jump on every trend that's out there, but you need to be aware of what's out there, right? How are you gonna know what needs to change if you're gonna just bypass things? If you say AI is just not for me without knowing what it can do, and you're a person of one, how are you ever gonna know how that could help or change your business? Look at your back office operations. That's where a lot of us need serious work. Again, you can't be everything to the business for it to flourish the way you want it to be. You can't have it both ways. So some hard decisions need to be made. You need to accept change and pivot as needed. And once you rethink how you're doing business, things will fall into place the way you want them to. It's a process. Don't be afraid of the process. It'll work. Trust yourself.
Very good. All right, Phil. You got a good question, right? Because everyone knows him from LIAC and 100 Black Men, but marketing, right? Let's talk about it. What marketing and PR strategies are most effective for Black businesses looking to expand?
Well, I think marketing is a total communication link to the public. Everything you do says something about you, right? So you have to, one of the things, I'm a stickler for details, right? If I see a word spelled something spelled wrong, I'm gonna go back 20 times till it's right? So we live in a communication society today, and one of the things that I learned from Dr. King, when you look at massive communicators, right, they're some of the most known people in the world. We gotta communicate to people. We gotta talk to people, right? You gotta be consistent across platforms today, right? Today, I don't really gotta be in the newspaper, but I'm quite in the newspaper quite a bit. I'm in the newspaper on a regular basis, but today we have social media. I mean, you could develop your own following. I'm saying you still need to get to Newsday, you still need to get to the local papers, but I tell you, everybody should have a tear sheet. How many people been in the media? A page, right? Take that one sheet, get access to more. So one of the things I think is that we have to really work on our communication, our nonverbal, relationship thing. Relationship currency is worth money too. We think it's just money. It's the relationships that you got, because marketing, is marketing create finance, right? I mean, I know that's true. But one of the things we do is we don't consistently market. We should have a time for that. And I like what Rhonda said, but there's a book that I read in my 20s, Michael Gerber. How many people heard of him? Huh? The E-Myth. You got to develop systems in your business. I believe in using technology. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to jump on Constant Contact. They told me I ain't got to post on LinkedIn, Facebook. I could schedule all of them at one time, right? So we need to use technology. But one of the things is, what are you saying? How you dress. Everything is communication, right? So you got to really look at branding. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, he's the Roof Chris. He's the top guy in Roof Chris across the country, and he came to me about branding. And we got to work on our image. We got to study what branding means, right? Today, you can't even get a job if your social media ain't right. Is that right? They looking at all that, and here's an executive, and he told me, Phil, that's very important because I may want to go to this next position. I may want to. What are people saying? What is your company saying to people that look at it, that want to buy? So you really got to pay attention to the details, right? Show up, invest. I think you got to spend money too. Spend money on your website. Spend money on branding. Quality. Quality is a virtue. Sometimes I pay $2,000 for a logo because I want that thing to look just right, right? So one of the things is you got to really, I believe that you got to take care of a customer, right? Because if you take care of a customer, you get the right customer, he'll tell 100. So I think we got to look at, when you talked about banking, we got to look at the revenue side of how we value a customer. I'll give you an example. I'm going to talk too long, but I was at a national conference in Washington, and I met the first major African American CEO. Even the smallest thing got value. Your life, you got to create value every day. A cashew got value. In Africa, the cashew is one of the most produced thing that produce the most in the world, and we got to take our own lives the same way. How do I become valuable, right? If you give value, you're going to get customers. Then that's what it's about, building value.
Yes, that next question was for you. So, again, what marketing and PR strategies are most effective for Black businesses looking to expand their customer base on Long Island?
So I get a lot of people that come to me and they feel that they don't have a story to tell. Everyone has a story. Do not think that you do not have a story that someone will be interested in. And I think what happens with a lot of us is that we feel that nobody wants to hear us or nobody is listening. But we are listening. So what tools can you use for people to hear your story? I tell people, set up your own YouTube page. You have a connection on YouTube. You can tell your story on YouTube. Send out an email. People think emails are dead, and they're not. You own it. Now, yes, social media also plays a part, but what happens if social media goes down? And you put everything on social media, everything on TikTok, everything on IG, what happens? Now you are lost and you're scrambling like, how am I going to get my word out? Create an email list. Everybody in here should be connecting and getting email lists. Connecting, informing people about your services. We have to stand up and we have to talk more about what we do. If you are not your biggest cheerleader, something is wrong. So utilize the resources and what you have. YouTube, an email list. I said earlier, networking. Now, media, you also can get into the media. People think that they are not newsworthy. Every single business has a story. Every single business is newsworthy. It's all about the angle and how you do it. What the media looks for is how you can help somebody, who you are helping, and how is it that they can get to another level. If your business can do that, you are newsworthy. Think outside of the box. You don't always have to go to mainstream because every single media has an SEO. It can be tracked. So if you think to yourself, oh, you know what? That media platform doesn't have a lot of followers, but guess what? It lives on the internet. It can be tracked. So don't think that you should not be on a particular media platform if it's not Fox, if it's not Channel 7, if it's not ABC, if it's not that. Don't think that way. People have podcasts. They live on the internet, and you can market it. So don't feel that someone comes to you and say, hey, I have a podcast, which, by the way, I have my podcast, a little small plug-in, but I have a podcast. I want to hear about your story. Make sure that it fits within your mission and value also. So I have a really quick story that I tell all the time. If someone comes to you and they do not give you the ins and outs about their show, you need to ask. Don't think all media is great media or it fits you. I had a chef. She got on her friend's podcast. Her friend's podcast was literally all about animals. You are a chef. You cook for people. You do not cook for animals. It has to match. But as I'm talking about this, it's really true. You need to start putting yourself in media. You need to start saying to yourself, I am someone. I have a story. I am newsworthy. How are you going to fit this together? You need to be creative. That's what we are lacking. We're always looking to get the big platforms. We're always looking, I want to get on, Essence. And Essence, one, most of the time, they charge. That's one. Two, they are looking for really specific stories. And if you are not featured in any type of media, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have no media platform, no online footprint, Essence is not going to pick you up. Bloomberg is not going to pick you up. Good Morning America is not going to pick you up unless you have a specific story that they are looking for and you fit that criteria. So utilize these tools to build yourself out. And also, there are so many groups that you could be part of that you can tell your story and you can also be a part and help people. What you don't want to do is sell. You want people to know that you are here to help. How can you help someone? How are you changing someone's life? Thank you.
Dr. Neva, could I have something very important to say. Well, one of the things during the last couple of years, we're part of a federal grant from the White House, the only organization on Long Island. We are underutilizing Google, right? We have 3,000 images on Google. We understand Google. Because how many businesses here are local? If you're not on Google locally, when you go to Google and you type in, I want to get something from the deli that's closest to you, right? Somebody need a lawyer, they need a event planner. So one of the things is to get right on Google, and that's very, very critical because guess what? Some of the things you're gonna have to pay for, and how many people got an advertising budget, right? Eventually you want an advertising budget because McDonald's, they took a small percentage of what they made and they put it away from advertising. That's why they won number one in the market. So we definitely need Google, and we need to also get in the local papers. I have to tell you, there was a paper called a Community Journal. How many people know, I'll tell them my age, how long I've been on Long Island. Community Journal, we once had an African-American newspaper that ran for 20 years, but I was in that paper for 20 years. Sometimes 4 and 5 issues. So the local media also gives you a platform too. Don't discard the little local paper, right? If you can get a write-up and you say, hey, I got this write-up over here, they will give you access to more. So take advantage of everything. But media, and today you can, what we do at the chamber, I have a one-sheeter. Educate people about your business every chance you get. I ain't gonna say hard sell them every time because, if you're trying to hard sell me every minute, right? I'm gonna turn away, but let people know about your business. Create a flyer, say this is what I do. Let them know the value proposition. Tell them some things, good things that's happening in your company. So you have a lot of power, but you gotta have a system. Like maybe somebody said Marketing Wednesday. Once a week, have a system to put information about on your company. Don't wait till all year and then you ain't getting no sales and you ain't did no marketing and PR. So you got to put systems in your business.
Thank you. So in case you wonder why I was distracted just now, the food is on its way. So I just wanted to make sure she knows where we're at. All right, so the next question, I'm gonna have to paraphrase because my cell phone is there, but it revolves around policy makers, right? So you have a lot of leaders or individuals who are in leadership position that really need to be more active as far as it comes towards entrepreneurs, right? How do you think they can play a part to make Long Island business better?
Is that a question for me? Okay. So you're asking, how can the politicians do that, or how can us, the residents, do that?
Let's talk about politicians.
Okay. Yeah, so it's timely since we have the convention going on, and they keep telling you about we the people, for the people, right? Whatever your politics are, I just think that's a tremendous amount of energy that's there, and it's making us realize, what's in our hand, right? So in saying that, everybody in here has a representative, a state assembly person, a state senator. If in Nassau County, you have a legislator. Do some homework. If you learn anything about this question that I've said, is just go home tonight and Google your legislator or your senator, state senator, or your state's or your U.S. government congressman, or get involved, right? You don't have to be annoying, pest at them, but you're a business owner. You pay taxes, right? Right? So you're entitled to the biggest, I call it the biggest ROI, is your return on investment. You pay your tax, you want to get representation. That's basic. So look up your local legislators. Tell them that you're in business, right? Especially and my friends at the state will know this, the state program is based on, ESD is based on Article 15A, which was signed into law by Mario Cuomo in 1988, right? So it survived almost, 35 years. So it's a state program, so get in touch with your state assemblyperson, or senator. It's actually going to be up for reauthorization this year, right? Whether they continue the program or not. It's up to them. So you want to be a part of that. So go home, do that homework. You also want to, for the politicians, they're going to pay attention to you more if you write to them, right? And if you tell them that you're in business, and you're also, they don't think that you know all about the laws and everything like that. But I just told you about Article 15A. Say, I want to know more about Article 15A, Mr. or Mr. Senator, or Assemblyman. I bet you'll get an answer. Be an educated consumer, because you pay taxes, so you expect a return. Get involved. But that's a strategic way of using the government and the politicians. So you want to start small, but please remember that also there's a conference in February called the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus. It's gone on, this is like for 53 years now. It's in Albany, but a lot of the legislators are there. I venture you to look that up and go to that. There's also a MWBE forum that's going to be this November, sponsored by ESD, the Division of Minority and Women-Owned Businesses. And all of the legislators will be there, probably the ones that you know or that are from your area. That's in Albany. But my point is to get involved. Once you know this information, act on it, and you will definitely see results, because it's all about, like you said here, building relationships. You have to build a relationship with that person in government.
Thank you, Dean. And Phil, you want to say something? Okay, so you know what, everyone, you take a second and address this question, because this is a final question. So go ahead.
Okay, so as Dean had mentioned, reach out to your local elected official. Elected officials want to know the type of work that their constituents do. They have budgets. They have to spend that budget. So if you are communicating with them, or if you are showing them that you're doing community work, that they see the work, they see the type of things that you're helping their other constituents with in the community, now you have an opportunity to send a bid to them, to send an opportunity for them to actually fund a program that you're doing. So if you really want to make connections and you want to work with the elected officials, if your mission and vision is aligned together and they see the work that what you're doing and they actually want to support it, that's another opportunity that what you can do. But you got to do the work. You got to show that you're doing the work. You have to sit down and have a meeting with them, with their chief of staff or with them. They have to know who you are. So don't just say, you know what, I don't like what they're doing, or, I just see them at ribbon cuttings or whatever. There is an opportunity that you can sit down and they know who you are. They will literally take your pamphlets and your information and have it in their office. So do not be a ghost to your elected officials. Do not say, I don't like what you're doing, and then stay away. Because that might just be that particular elected official that says, you know what, that program, what you're doing, is going to help hundreds of kids in my community and what my district, what I'm helping with. So let them know, let them hear your voice.
Well, one of the things I'd like to say is that we recently, we work on the state level as a Chamber of Commerce, and the governor's office has the Office of African American Affairs, right? So they reached out to us. So we speak on these issues. And the second thing I want to say is that we met with a former legislator, and he told us we're gonna have a meeting where we could get our community together and see how we can put letters to congressmen. Like each one of y'all live in a district, right? And each one of y'all wrote to your congressman, right? Guess what's gonna happen with politicians? Somebody gonna snatch that up and say, I want that to be my issue. I want my name on it. Get that thing passed. So we getting ready to work on a level to really, in our community, we very often write letters to Congress, right? Because right now, we just finished a federal grant, right? So with the White House, only organization on Long Island. But guess what? Hey, we might write another letter and say all across the country, we did this. This is the status, this is the data. We need more funding. So we just gotta play the game as a community. We really are not active in the politics the way we should. But my theory all my life was, it's not enough to go work on your job and your business. You need to work where you live at, right? Am I right? So if we start writing letters, I think that we could write them letters to the Congress. We just didn't have the meeting yet because LIAC don't want to be the only one. We want to get Hempstead Chamber, Uniondale Chamber. We want to get all of y'all. And they see all them letters. You know how politicians is. They see those letters, they can be like, votes. We're going to make this happen. So we got to use the system, the political system. We in one of the greatest countries in the world. Anytime a country like the U.S. could bail out GM, they could give us money for these programs and your businesses to grow. And we just got a business. We did a $5 million grant across Washington, and we trying to get it refilled again, right? Write letters to the Congress, right? So this country, you really got to look at the politics of it, and don't look at, oh, I don't want to get involved in government. The government is here. Your money, your tax money goes back. And they have, one of the organizations I'm president of, they wanted me to go to Albany so they could see and get some of that, there's money left over in the budget at the end of the year. They could write, Schumer and them could write $2 million to an organization, because if they don't spend it, they got to do what? They got to give it away. But we got to be active in our community and learn politics.
You can clap, by the way. It's just
So I'm just going to continue what was already said, and that's basically, you really do have to get involved. You are entrepreneurs. So part of the definition of being an entrepreneur is that you take more risk than the average person. Part of what you have to do is you have to educate yourself. So we already know that as entrepreneurs, you don't have enough time in the day to do all the things that you have to do. But you have to rethink your plan, go back to it, and you have to make time to educate yourself. So even before you get to talk to the politicians, how many of you know your local politicians? How many of you know, do you live in a village? Do you live in a town? How many of you know that there's cities in Nassau County? Can we name the cities in Nassau County? Do you live in one of them? And I'm not saying that to insult anyone's intelligence. What I'm telling you is that now we're in an election year, right? At the national level, and everybody wants to get involved. But you need to be involved way before that. You need to be involved at the local level, state level, federal level. You need to know what people's platforms are. So here we are at the national level, there's elections coming along, and you have probably already decided who you want to vote for. But you still need to know everybody's platform. Because somewhere in whatever it is, who's going to get elected into office, I guarantee you something's going to affect your small business, whoever it is. So regardless of who you're going to vote for, you need to know what the person you don't want to vote for is saying and what they're going to do. That's the level of involvement that you have to be into this as an entrepreneur, because it's going to affect you. You have to understand that you have to save time for you to educate yourself. You have to be involved with the Chamber of Commerce. You know why? Because they will lead you to these people that you need to meet, the politicians, the organizations that are going to help you and assist you. But they also bring together people who are going to educate you on those issues that are out there that you may not know about. So, some people say, networking is not my thing. Well, it's gonna have to be your thing. If it's your weakness, as Dean said, and I've been saying this for years, you accentuate your strengths, you have to manage your weaknesses, because they're not gonna go away, right? And if you ignore them, they always come up at the most inconvenient time. So you have to make sure you manage them. But if that's not your thing, you have to make a plan on how you're going to network, right? You have to figure it out. No one's saying you have to go to every networking opportunity that's out there, but understand what's there. Maybe there's someone you can send on your behalf, get a recording or whatever, but you need to have a plan. You have to be involved. And that starts from the very beginning, understanding that you live in a town, who's running the town, who's all the elected officials there, what is the structure? Start there and then keep moving up. You need to know all the players, not just at the federal level, from the top down. And when you do that, you will find out so much information because it's going to affect you. Like everyone said, taxpayer, it's your dollars. You have to be involved. So once you do that, again, you'll see things a lot more clearly. You can't leave anything behind. You're entrepreneurs. You're going to be out there. You take more risk. You got to make sure that you know what's going on.
All right, give them a round. Give them a round of applause. All right, I want to question. Anyone has a question? You're gonna have to, because this.
Hello? Okay. Good afternoon, or I should say good evening. My name is Kimberly Malone. I wear many hats, including I'm a community advocate. I'm the president of the Baldwin Civic Association. It stopped working. Yeah. I can talk louder. Okay. So I was saying I'm the president of the Baldwin Civic Association, and I thank you for making the plea for people to get involved in their communities, because it's a very difficult thing sometimes getting folks to come out. I'm okay. But. Oh, okay. Thank you. But as it relates to, Phil, yours is working? So,
No, you could still.
oh, okay. But as it relates to businesses, I'm actually also a financial services professional, and I'd like to get your thoughts on people in the business world actually being proactive about working on their finances, both for themselves and for their companies. My experience is practically no one has had any formal financial literacy training. And in trying to educate the community, which is a part of my crusade, I find that people are willing to listen, but slow to move. Can you talk about what you think about that? Because I'm a little concerned that we don't necessarily put the things in play that we need to do both personally for our companies and for our employees.
Thank you for that question. So that's actually a really good question. So part of what I do also is I do teach a business course that goes through the whole gamut of the business plan from A to Z. And when I start off with the business plan, one of the things I tell people is that before you start the business, you need to get your personal finances in order. So here's the thing. If you're not doing the right thing with your finances personally, you are not going to miraculously somehow do the right thing with your finances professionally. So if your issue is credit in your personal life, then get it together so that way the business can get credit as well, right? So you have to get things in order. This is why I was saying, and I wanted to allude to this, is that there's parallels in life. You as entrepreneurs, you need to get certain things together. So you do have to have a budget, like Phil was saying. You also need to have a budget in your personal life. So if you haven't even done that, right, and you're trying to do these things in your business, you need to get your personal together as well. Preferably get the personal together and then get the professional, or try to do it at the same time, but don't think that you have all this chaos going on in your personal life and somehow everything is gonna go right in the professional life. The other thing I tell people is that, okay, so listen, as a business person, you need certain professionals who are gonna help you. I always say I'm an attorney, so obviously I'm gonna say attorney is one of them, an accountant is one of them. You still need to have a working knowledge of certain things. You should never hand over everything to anyone, right? So you're going to hire the accountant to handle accountant things, but you still need to know what a budget is. You still need to know those financial documents, break-even points. You still need to know cash flow. You need to know that. When you walk into anybody's office, so let's just say you're trying to hire an accountant, you need to interview him or her the same way they're going to decide if they're going to take you on as a client. You need to ask them questions. Again, it's the mindset when you go into whoever's office you're going to go into, and because you need something. The mindset needs to be that you need me just as much as I need you. And that's going to change the game for you. But you also have to understand that you have to get certain things in order for yourself. The personal and professional needs to stay apart. However, they still need to mirror each other. Does that make sense? Because people think, so listen, you form a corporation because the corporation is supposed to be separate from you personally. So that way you're not commingling, doing all these different things. But you still have to have things together personally in order, so that way you can have things professionally in order. So you have to understand that there's still some correlation there, even though you have to keep things separate. So get things together, get it in order, and always make sure that you educate yourself. Don't ever walk into anybody's office as if you're having your hand out, you're begging for something. You shouldn't be begging for anything. So you really do have to understand who you are, have the confidence, like we said it on this panel, and know who you are. But don't lie to yourself. Be honest about where you are in this journey, please. If there's nothing else you remember, just remember that. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell me your business, but if you have credit issues, if you have whatever, deal with them. Deal with them. You don't need to shout it out to the rooftops, just deal with it. Don't be ashamed of anything. Make the plan to fix it. And that's how you can deal with those issues, especially for the finances. You really got to get that together.
Well, one of the things that we did, first of all, I want to ask, how many people in the financial services area? Well, for many years, for about 2 years, we had a leaders in finance committee at the Chamber of Commerce. And what that committee wanted to do was, look, we wanted to, one, network with you, with higher people in the industry, some top people in the world, right? Because sometimes we don't have access to them, right? So, and then the other thing we wanted to do is take that committee and go to outreach in the community. So if I could send you the article, we could restart that committee. People like you already got the skills, and we talking to the community at large, we could increase the financial services. And the other thing I say, why we have problems in our community, we don't have storefront financial services in most of our communities. Am I right? You go to other communities, you'll see, you don't just see the bank, right? You see other companies like that do finance and insurance. In our community, we lack those. But we could be an outreach organization that got professional services that going out to the community, put on panel. And we have done that. I'll send you the article. We even got a write-up of it.
Thank you, guys. I want to give them a round of applause. Dean, Sharon, Phil, Rhonda. I mean, guys, again, they took the time out, not just for me to assist me, but to give you vital information. So it's up to you to utilize what they've given. Some of you, I'm sure some of the things might be repetitive because you've been to a few networking events, right? I assume. But some things will make a mark because it's new to you, right? So a key takeaway is be active, right? Let people know who you are. Because the way I look at things, it's not who I know, it's who knows me. Right? So that's the focus. All right, guys, please give them a round of applause. I want to hear it. Now, we have a few more before we get up and start networking and eating and stuff like that, because they're still setting up. But I do want to now pass the mic to over here, the Empire State Development, for you to give some information.
I'm Jenny Lowe. I work in the division, but I wanted to introduce Jason Clark. He is the Executive Vice President and Executive Director of the Division of Minority and Women's Business Development. And our work is among the work that we do is to help minority and women-owned businesses get certified with the state so that they can do business with the 97 state agencies and authorities and projects that have state funding. So please welcome Jason Clark.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jenny. And I know we've been here for a while, so I'll try to kind of keep this short so that we can get to networking and what have you. But first, especially with it being Black Businesses, National Black Businesses Month, we want to make sure that folks know about a lot of the opportunities and that they know that they have a partner, with the state here. Dina had mentioned a little bit about Article 15A and the goals that we have with the governor. The governor has set a goal of 30% of all state procurement should be going to minority and women businesses. So what does that actually mean in numbers? That means $2.8 billion over this last year, $9 billion over these last 3 years out there that have been going to minority and women businesses. And what I would love to be able to see is that more, especially Black businesses here in Nassau County, being able to play a role in that. Jenny mentioned a little bit about the first step is being able to get certified. It's being certified has certainly taken some time in the past, but we've really been able to expedite that process so that a lot of businesses are getting certified much quicker. So if you're interested in that, you think you have something that one of our state agencies and authorities would be interested, please talk to us. Likewise, if you need assistance when it comes to access to capital, when it comes to technical assistance, we have a whole lot of programs to be able to give bridge loans, to be able to assist you with actually getting the funding that you need to be able to make your business successful. But we also have something, a business growth accelerator, that we'll be announcing our next class in the fall. So if you're interested in that, learning about entrepreneurship, figuring out ways that we could connect you with some of our agencies and authorities, definitely that should be something to look out for. But the main thing is I just really want to echo from what we heard before, that it's very hard being a small business, and it's even harder being a small business if you're a minority or a women-owned business out there. But that means that you should have a partner, you should be able to have assistance, and especially since I've been in this role over the last year, I'd really like to see that there are more Black, more Hispanic businesses that are coming to us to access the resources that we have here, because we are here and we're able to assist, but we can't do it if you don't come to us. So if you have any questions, come by. We have lots of materials, as you can probably see here, and we just want to make sure that you're out there succeeding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so before we, just one more thing. Well, there are 2 or 3 more things, but one more thing. Guys, if you don't mind standing up, I have 2 people I want to recognize, and I would like for you all to assist me. So you just hold the microphone for me for a second. So the first individual I actually met through Phil Andrews. And so Phil, I met, so you want to say his name?
On behalf of NEVA Alliance and National Black Business Month, Creative Outreach Award to Isaiah Grigg, Music Breeds, August 24. Come on up as we salute. Give him a good big hand.
Now, just to let you know, Isaiah is a visionary leader and the driving force behind Music Breed. And I had the opportunity to be at his grand opening, and I was just marveled. Don't walk away. Just like, wow, you have an idea and you put it in effect. You got a space and you have young people that you're working with. And when I thought about today and how, to start, again, this is our first time that we're doing this, but I just wanted to recognize someone that I believe made an impact, right? And I believe you'll continue doing so. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The next person I met through Ascend Long Island. And I'm gonna make Dean do this, but I'm giving her the Trailblazer Award. You see, you have businesses, but then you have businesses, right? And Vanessa Best is the founder and CEO of her business. I'm gonna make you say the business in a second. She's not just here on Long Island, she's in Atlanta, she's in Washington, D.C., and just opened up in Nairobi. I mean, she has been honored with numerous awards from U.S. Department of Commerce, Minority, I can't read all of these accolades. I mean, you have been on Long Island Business News Top 50 Women in Businesses, and I know you were a part of National Ascend for businesses over $2 million, right? And you're in 11 countries across 3 continents and 39 states. Vanessa, please come on up.
And she's from Baldwin, New York. This is great. Okay, Neve Alliance. On behalf of Neve Alliance, the National Black Business Month Trailblazer Award goes to Vanessa Best, Precision Healthcare Consultants. Congratulations.
I know everybody up here. So.
And by the way, I utilize the service of a small business owner to make these plaques. Paul Williams from Trophy, that's always supported us. So, all right. So at this time, I think that, we have the raffle. So you remember the little thing I gave you in the beginning to do? Don't tell me no, because I was on your cases. The scavenger hunt, right? We're going to be giving away awards for it, but we're going to eat. Should we eat and then give the award, the raffle? Should we do that? All right. So just to let you know, please continue networking. One of the gifts, this is just one. We have a big old basket over there, and we have $100 gift certificate. All right, guys, so please, we will, yes?
I just want to say something before everyone gets started. I really want us to give all the credit and to Neve Alliance and Dr. Neve, because she's put together a team, right, that supports her. But she is really walking the walk, okay? And I told her that this event was a great idea. And I said, this should be the first annual because there's going to be a second annual next year. And you know what's going to happen next year? I'm not claiming it. I am claiming it. We might have a black president next year. And we're going to have Black Business Month next year. So please stay tuned. And I love how she involves the young people, too, because we got to get our younger generation involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Please network, have something to eat, and at another few, we'll make the announcement.